right? And the first question is, Yash, and this has not just been curated by us. These questions have come from academia and other sources too, and they've been polled together, and that's how these come to you. Um, we are aware that from reported in public domain that MG Motors went out, the sales went up 30% in November, and you sold over 6,000 units. And out of these, 70% of the sales came from EV. And Windsor itself, which is the newly launched electric vehicle, has sold over 3,000 units already. What a fantastic number! What a great start! Given that MG has made such great inroads in India, what are MG's plans, global plans that fit into India?
Okay, so let's look at the automotive industry. Traditionally, it has been about ICE engines, powerful vehicles.
Yeah.
But when we look at future, I mean, there are limited resources. We need to look at what are the new energy vehicles. Now, if we look at future, of course, one solution comes up is EV. But then, other than EV, it will be a huge leap forward.
Yeah.
There has to be some intermediary steps.
Yeah.
Which include having PHEVs, having hybrids, and so on. And we are not far behind from it. EVs we've got our ZS EV, we've got a Comet and Windsor now in the market. We will be having further new products coming in the new energy vehicles.
Fantastic.
A lot of focus towards new energy vehicles so that we don't look at only thinking that we need to be just playing the number games today, but we are talking about how do we make an impact on the society for our future world, which is yet to come.
Sure.
Focus on having a clean, green environment. That would take some time. EV, if you look at the infrastructure, that's not up and ready in the country. Charging infrastructure needs a big boost.
Huge boost.
And without that boost, of course, the numbers won't go up. But there are alternate solutions. We need to come together as an industry. So we have our eHub on NG app. So this app is again future looking. We normally what happens is we would have on our app, generally most of the companies would put in only their charging stations. The eHub app has all the charging stations mapped in the country, irrespective of the service provider. I mean, if I'm not wrong, close to 85% of the charging stations are there. The balance 15% also the attempts are on by the team so that we integrate them. This app can be downloaded by anybody. It's not necessary that you're using MG vehicle.
Amazing.
So that's again to create that awareness that charging infrastructure is going up.
And it will be universal.
Universal across.
Amazing.
So the focus is there in India. It's there in the future. We need to get all the global technologies out in the automotive space in India, breaking that mindset of people that EVs are too costly. The first thing comes is the cost is too high because battery cost would be high. And with Windsor, we launched BAS, battery as a service.
As a service, yes.
So that gives a very good feature that if you remove the battery out from a vehicle, just look at the cost of the vehicle and what you're spending out for fuel every month. The lease rental for battery is less than that.
Less than that.
The range anxiety gone. Other question comes is what happens to the battery? The other thing is fuel hai, the vehicle is going on, the engine has got a long life, but the battery, what if maintenance comes? We are giving with our Windsor lifetime warranty for battery.
Amazing.
So the worry that if the battery goes off, what happens? We trust our battery.
So you've covered it. It's now going to make commercial sense to the buyer. Number one. Number two, it's also going to take care of those worries about how does the maintenance of the battery happen and the risk associated with who will take care of it if something goes wrong. So fantastic. That's absolutely amazing. And I'm very optimistic about this change in the country because we've done it once earlier when we moved from regular fossil fuels to CNG.
Yes.
Everyone in the world was skeptical. You know, Delhi was again very polluted, and I'm talking about the last bit of 90s, the decade of 90s, early 2000s, and everyone thought, how will CNG as a fuel, because it's a whole new ecosystem of
Yes.
vehicles, especially public transport, how will it ever get captured? But in a matter of 1 year, the
It was
entire
changing.
network was created, and look at it, how it is
You're
parallelly, smoothly running.
You're very right. I remember at that point of time, the first time when it was introduced, I came and there were long queues at CNG stations. And maybe after a year or so, zero queues, because the number of refilling stations for
Yeah.
CNG, that's
And
taking
and
care of it.
I was just recently, I was in Jammu and Kashmir, and in Jammu we were on our way to a hotel, and I was so happy to see charging station points alongside the regular gas stations, petrol pumps. And it's so good to see this coming up, this infrastructure. So I'm very optimistic for our country and for Mother Earth, because this is going to really take care of her, right? So that was an amazing answer and very, very inspiring. I'll continue with the streak of how this 30% market capture of electric vehicles been done by MG. Um, this obviously has changed the entire dynamic of how you're hiring talent and the kind of talent that you're hiring in within MG. What do you think are some of the roles that will become very crucial for MG's success given this change?
Yeah, since the new energy vehicles will be focused, but at the same time, for us, it's also about bringing innovation. Because right from our first product, we had a lot of innovation coming in, new technologies coming in. So, developmental roles, and here when I say developmental or the research roles, are not limited only to the core R&D on the vehicle, because today the vehicle is not only about the engine or the motor for an EV per se, but it's also about, it's a connected car. So there's internet. What about IoT? What about the safety features? ADAS. So artificial intelligence getting into the vehicle.
Completely.
So roles which are futuristic, technology coming in. So more from a mechanical, this is becoming a mechatronics, lot of technical, electrical, internet. The automotive industry is moving from a pure per se, I won't say 100% earlier it was, but more it was bent on the mechanical side. Now it is across. You talk about mechanical, electrical, electronics, computers, everything will come in. So I think R&D will remain focused, because unless you innovate on things, it would not improve.
No, absolutely. And I think with the way IoT and AI, it's going to become central to even how we drive. And again, MG is again making terrific strides there. So I think, again, even in the way we look at how such talent is pooled, aggregated, how it is evaluated, and how would it get delivered to the hiring manager will also change ultimately. I think a lot of innovations happening there too. Tagged is doing this great innovation, especially in the EV space, on how talent dedicated to electronic vehicle can be mapped very easily and also qualified to be able to be presented in a format where they'll be ready to interview. So fantastic. That was amazing, Yash. Also, you've done some tremendous work when it comes to women, right? And I know some amazing things that 31% of MG is women, right? That's and 37% of your Halol plant is again woman workforce. I hope my numbers are correct, but this is from the public domain. Is it higher now?
It's higher now.
Oh, this is dated. Please correct me. This is dated information. I have picked it up from the public domain, right? So please spill the beans even early on.
So on the floor, on the shop floor in the plant, we are at 45%.
Wow.
And overall, if we look at the organization level, we are at 42% currently.
What, you are leaders in this metric. Fantastic, fantastic. Of course, the other automotive giants and even manufacturing giants, they do have a lot of larger volumes, etc., and a lot of change to manage. I think you had also had the advantage of creating it right from the start. But nevertheless, I think this is worth the accolade. What a fantastic first in the industry. What is your long-term vision, Yash, for diversity? I know you've We have this great initiative which MG launched, which you launched in MG, Driver Back Initiative, right? So tell us what is your long-term vision when it comes to diversity, not only for women, not only for gender, but even otherwise.
So, as we earlier we spoke about speed.
Yeah.
So, diversity is part of our
Yeah.
cultural values. Diversity is also one of our core brand pillars.
Right.
And when we talk about diversity, it's diversity as a whole. Of course, gender diversity comes as a subset of it.
Yeah.
Essentially required for an organization, because unless there's diversity in thoughts, innovation won't happen.
Couldn't agree more.
And MG is known for innovations. So that's where even the gender diversity thing came up right on day one of when we were setting up the entire thought process of how do we look at our planning for future resources, for talent and everything. And one thing was realized, if we are not targeting women, we are not looking at 50% of the available talent in the market.
True that, 100%.
And if we are missing that, we are also missing on the needs of 50% of our customers.
Undoubtedly.
So if we don't, and this requires a rigid, structured focus, because you can't differentiate that I'll give a different kind of service to a male customer and a different kind of service to a female customer, because the product is same.
Yeah.
So the product should be such that it takes care of customers of all the genders. So that's where the focus started, and we said the next step to it came. Generally speaking, when we talk about gender diversity, most of the organizations focus only at the management cadre, the white collar jobs. Now we need to focus throughout. Unless there is gender diversity on the shop floor, we can't say that we are talking about the entire whole organization.
Yeah.
So that's where we said that let's have women even on the shop floor. Not an easy thing. Huge challenges. Lot of mindset changes need to be done. We were talking of people who have worked in the entire, almost majority of their career. They have not seen women on the floor. How do we convince them? So even before the hiring for women was started on the shop floor, the unconscious bias awareness for people started. And we did had some women leaders and middle managers who had joined. Unconscious bias, being unconscious even at the time of giving this unconscious bias awareness is important.
Right.
So what I mean by this is, we don't give unconscious bias training only to men, it's for women as well.
Sure.
Because the same apprehensions even at the initial time women managers had. I don't want a female subordinate in my team, because I can't tell her that this is urgent, so you need to stay back and complete this work today.
Or run and get this done.
Said, ab bol ke to dekho. Unless you ask for it, you won't get for it. So have you spoken to the female subordinate that this is urgent, which means maybe today you'll have to stay back for an hour, or maybe after going home, open up your laptop, you need to spend 1 hour on this because we are bound by timelines and today we'll need to submit this. No, not spoken. I said, do it. This is what unconscious bias is. So a lot of awareness done on that, which made people understand that probably this is our failure. Going on the floor, to give you a simple example, one of the first thing which comes out is people look at our weld shop or body shop, what we call it. Huge guns which are used for welding.
Yeah.
How will women handle these guns?
How will the weight of it?
The weight of it. I said, okay, they're not supposed to lift it.
It's automated.
It's automated. It's hanging on a shackle.
Yeah.
And no, but strength is required. Fair enough, strength is required. But even there are men who may not have strength, physical strength.
Yeah.
So it was making them aware that what's their requirement, pinpointing out. Said, okay, so what is the criteria you have for those selection of men on the floor?
Right.
Barring the technical know-how.
Yeah.
And so no compromise on the technical know-how, I said. No, the person should have minimum this much of height, fair point, this much of weight. So what happens if the weight is less? So all engineering things. Momentum. So body has a momentum, so mass. I said, very good point. We keep the same criteria for women. That somebody in weld shop should have minimum this weight and this height.
Yeah.
So that they are able to control the weld gun very simple.
Yeah.
So if a logical thought is given to a question which comes up, you get a logical solution. Then what about the technical competence? Because we don't find women with ITI in as a welder or as a fitter. No problem. If they're not taking admission, we can train them. So we establish our own training centers inside where when we hire women, we train them out over there.
Sure.
What they should be learning in ITI, I said we will train them. Of course, in ITI they would get a vast experience besides welding, but our focus remains on the core job and during the job, on the job training and everything. That's where this confidence was built in the entire team.
Amazing. And I really got goosebumps just listening to you talk about how the effort to change this behavior of bias, which is not purposefully driven, it's not done on purpose. Perhaps it's innately there and due to societal norms, but trying to get that to reduce, even if not get rid of it completely, is such a mammoth effort. Kudos to you, kudos to MG for having done that and getting such amazing numbers. I also, when you said that it's not just diversity of real numbers, it's also diversity of thought at MG. And one of your peers in one of my earlier podcast interviews also mentioned the same, that getting diversity of thought into the work culture is also about diversity.
Yes.
And I must tell you one more thing. I was recently in the Northeast when you said that 50% of the customer base too would be left out otherwise, right? I might not say the same for some parts of North India, but I was recently in the Northeast in Assam, and every second car or two-wheeler was being driven by women. I was amazed at how equal is that part of our country when it comes to, and I salute them for that. So I really hope that this applies to the rest of the nation too, especially some parts of North India where at the moment every fifth or sixth car is driven by a woman or a two-wheeler. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Yash.
In fact, many times when I'm asked that what has changed if you look at gender diversity for you, so I tell them nothing has changed, only a zero got added.
Yeah.
How is that possible? I said, about 20 years back, when I joined the auto industry, so I was working in some other industry and I joined as in the auto industry. At that point of time, the gender diversity target or aspiration, I won't say a target, the gender diversity aspiration for my company was 5%.
Single digit, yeah. Yes.
Only a zero has got added. So that's the only aspiration I have, a zero aspiration. Now, today I am aspiring for 50%. The difference is zero.
Fantastic.
Nothing more than that.
Fantastic. What a solid achievement. What a solid achievement. You did stress on some of your training programs, which, even for the shop floor, which focus specifically on women and getting talent to, gender diverse talent to come onto the floor. And before they hit the floor, they are brought up to the almost the same level as people with the similar experience, men with similar experience. How do you do that?
So, we have got each of our shop has got a shop excellence team and a training center. So, somebody going to a weld shop would first have a classroom training, and again, the basic training remains same. However, girls who are coming for the first time, they don't know. If I have to talk, they may not know what they would have seen, definitely a nut and a bolt, but they may not know the right nomenclatures for them. So that basic training is also given to them. The hand-eye movement, body movement contacts, how do you maintain everything out, that synchronization, those all trainings are given. So that's the first classroom session, which is structured. There's a 21 days training program where they are only supposed to get trained under a first learn. So it's going back to school for some days, on the job training out over there in a controlled environment. Then as they go on the line, they have one person under whose supervision on the job they'll be working. So the person trains them on till the time the confidence doesn't come that this person can do the job comfortably, safely, without supervision. Till that time they are attached to a person.
Amazing.
Who would be there as watching them out so that things don't go wrong. They can reach out and ask for help.
So this buddy ring fences them
The
till
buddy
the
ring
time
fences.
they don't, they are themselves not confident, and we are absolutely not sure that
Yes.
they'll be able to work securely. Amazing, fantastic. I'll come to my next question now, Yashin. That was just an amazing, with all the amazing real life anecdotes from MG. MG is an EV first company, right? And digital talent would be one of your core areas within your talent plans. What are your top three focus areas to hire and retain digital talent within MG? Especially, we know that this talent pool is very limited.
That's the most important part, that the talent pool is very limited.
Very limited
And
at the moment.
yeah, and this is not something new for us.
Yes.
So frankly speaking, even I'll go back to Hector. This was the first connected car.
Hmm.
So no talent available on connected cars.
Hmm.
They don't know what it means.
Yeah.
When we launched ZSEV, no talent available for electric vehicles.
Right.
We were the first to have ADAS level 1. Limited, by no I mean limited talent available. What do we do? Same thing applies to the digital talent also. What do we do? We said, let's forget fishing, let's do farming. Let's build that pipeline within the organization. We train them.
Amazing.
So we trained our own people out, whether it was on connected cars, whether it was on Internet of Things in vehicle, whether it was ADAS, whether it was the EV technology. Same thing goes out over here. Yes, our focus will remain. While we don't say that we would not need talent which is available in the market, but core or sole dependency on going to the market and seeing that let's find the best fit. No, let's get the right set of people who have the right set of mindset. They're ready to learn, unlearn,
Yeah.
relearn new thing, because what is valid today, what is required today may not be
Relevant tomorrow.
It's
Absolutely.
irrelevant tomorrow. Tomorrow something else, and we can't go on then changing people.
Yeah.
So we need people who are quick learners, implement, quick unlearners, and relearning quick things. So that's what we are focusing on the talent. Training will go on. We would train them out. We do both our parts. So I know we may not be able to retain everybody, but the talent remains in the auto industry.
Amazing. Yeah, it does, and that's a very magnanimous statement to say. And with this, you've already picked up my next question. Because with this change happening and the whole ecosystem of automotive changing from traditional engines to EV, there's a lot of DNA change that's required within talent existing within the organization, and even talent that you hire. You just spoke about it. How are you making this DNA morphed? How are you changing it to be more EV than ICE?
So goes back to the same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
one thing what happened when we were during the initial time, what you mentioned, I'll go back to the speed thing. The being passionate, the P which is passion. Be passionate. Take pride of doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Have that startup culture that no job is small, no job is less important, each job is equally important. So removing those inhibitions amongst people, and this goes right from day one when the person joins the organization. So the person knows that yes, there'll be new learnings. Everybody is uncomfortable leaving the comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's why it is comfort zone. But leave it. We are there with you.
Any anecdotes where you've done this successfully, changing this DNA?
Many places. We've got people. I mean, so typically what happens, I mean, even in my previous organization, there are mandatory job rotations. A lot of organization leaders push across. Every 3 years, there has to be mandatory
job rotations. Yeah.
But if it is made mandatory or enforcing it, we said, no, we'll have internal job postings. Do the
Make
things,
it a choice.
Make it a choice. There, when a person comes in, and we have many people out over here in the organization who said, today I'm into manufacturing. I would like to do engineering. I would like to do program management. I would like to try and get into after sales or sales.
Sales, yeah.
Try it out. What would happen? You would fail? No problem. We are there to train you. If it so happens after spending a year or two, you feel, no, this is not my cup of tea. Fair enough. We have a job for you in manufacturing anyway. So it's not that if you are a failure, it means we show you the door. No, you took the risk. We are part of that taking risk. If things go good, the success is yours. If things don't go good, we are both are jointly responsible for it, and we'll make sure that we take care of you. So that
Amazing.
training continues out, that development continues out, and we see a lot of, people take that up in the positive spirit.
Amazing, Yash. So you are literally at MG, um, letting people leave behind their insecurities to be able to take that leap into change. Because that's when they will be able to move out of their comfort zone. What is comfort zone? At the end of the day, it's straddled by
Yep.
a boundary of insecurity, right?
Yes.
And once that falls, they're able to take that leap. And even if half of them succeed, it's a win-win.
Yes.
Amazing. Fantastic. Fantastic. And my friends, with that, we come to the end of segment 1, which was decoding the jobs.